Good morning everyone. I'm seeing you once again from beautiful Ohiya Railway Station. We are going to start trekking from Ohiya, walk along the Horton Plains Road and get down on Devil's Staircase, circle it around and go back to Idalgashinna. It's going to be approximately 20 kilometers in length. Let's see if we can make it in one piece. The weather seems rather good, so let's get started. And you can see my two trekking partners for the day, Ata and Nana, going ahead of me. This is actually a very beautiful road compared to the Pattipolo Horton Plains Road, which is almost always busy, bustling with people and vehicles going up to the Horton Plains. But Ohiya Horton Plains Road is relatively calm and quiet. You get this nice tall trees lining up the path, which is a godsend. The weather is very balmy. There's a cool breeze. You can also hear plenty of streams coming from this Ohiya Forest Reserve. Ohiya Forest is actually part of the buffer zone of Horton Plains National Park, which is one of the most beautiful travel destinations in Sri Lanka. Very popular among both local and foreign tourists. Right, I'll tell you more about our hike, what we are going to do after a little while. We started our trek at Ohiya Railway Station, 1774 meters. We'll be trekking on this road for about 3.7 kilometers. Before the Ohiya Horton Plains entrance, we are going to turn left into Devil's Staircase. And that turning point is at approximately 2044 meters, meaning we'll be trekking uphill about 270 meters over this 3.7 kilometer journey. The first point of interest comes at 2.1 kilometers from Ohiya Railway Station, that is the Ohiya Udaweriya Kalupahana Road. We have trekked on that road few times and we are coming into that very soon. On the left hand side is the Forest Department bungalow in Ohiya. It's a rather windy day. You can see the road going uphill, taking turns. A nice so far ahead of us. Alright, here we are at the first landmark in our trek. This is the turn off towards Bamarakanda and Kalupahana. Bamarakanda on this road is approximately 16 kilometers away from here. Kalupahana is roughly 20. Altogether between Kalupahana and Ohiya, 22 kilometers. We have trekked approximately 2.1 kilometers by now. Elevation is roughly 14 meters. That is a gain of 140 meters. And we have to turn right on the Horton Plains Road. As I said before, Kalupahana Road is to the left. Alright, you can see my trekking partners are going along Horton Plains Road. I'm filming this from the Ohiya Kalupahana Road. It's a nice, beautiful day and the road is lovely, and these bends are even more lovely. And pretty windy too. I hope the wind is not being picked up by the camera. As I said before, this road is running through Ohiya Forest Reserve at the buffer zone of Horton Plains National Park. This has an area of over 2,200 hectares, and there are some beautiful tall trees, pines and turpentine and eucalyptus and many others. And you can also find some rhododendron trees which has this beautiful reddish flower. Right, there is another U-bend coming up. As I said before, we haven't come across many vehicles or people going on this road. Pretty isolated, just like we are having it for ourselves. Alright, we come to another beautiful stretch of this road, B508. So this is a B grade road. but when it comes to looks and the scenery, this is A star, A plus road, one of the most beautiful in Sri Lanka. Oh, we can see there are some black monkeys that are endemic to Sri Lanka. They are known as Sri Lankan black monkey, purple face leaf monkey, like that. Alright, you can see Atul is also taking some photographs. Anna heading ahead. This is one beautiful forest road. Today we'll be doing mostly ups and down hikes. We are going to climb up to 2044 meters, elevation gain of 270, then going to climb down roughly 440 meters towards Udaweriya tea factory, then climb back up 336 meters to Udaweriya lighthouses, then climb back down to Idalgashinna railway station, another 335 meters. All in all, it's going to be like an ECG report, ups and down, ups and down. The length is roughly 17 to 20 kilometers. So it's going to be a day full of trekking in this beautiful pearl of the Indian Ocean. We are still going uphill. Just wanted to show you this massive tree. It's so huge. It's difficult to hug that tree even with 3 people. Such a beautiful sight. Okay, we come to another important landmark. This is a hut, sort of like a shelter built by the forest department. Remember, we are still walking through the Ohiya Forest Reserve, which is managed by the forest department. The adjoining Horton Plains National Park is managed by the wildlife department. I find it rather silly to have 2 different departments managing our forest. Maybe they want to overcomplicate this and continue the tug of war between the 2 departments, because at the end of the day every forest has wildlife in it. So having forest department managing portion of Sri Lanka's forest and wildlife department doing the rest, I find it rather funny. What to do? Sometimes you just have to put up with these kind of things. Somewhat resembles what CIA and FBI are doing. Alright, now you can see Anna and Ata going ahead. Now this is mostly flat terrain because we've done most of the climbing uphill. Now we should be able to find the trailhead to Devil's Staircase very soon, just before the 26th kilometer post, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, here we are at the trailhead to the Devil's Staircase. You can see the 26th kilometer post somewhere out there. This road continues towards Ohiya Horton Plains entrance and all the way towards far in where the wildlife department office is. Now we are going to start climbing downhill approximately 430 meters all the way. But the Devil's Staircase has so many interesting facts. I'll tell you when we get to the Devil's Staircase viewpoint, which is very near. From there we can see towards the Walava Basin. Remember yesterday we were talking about Uva and Walava Basins while we were doing the Thangamale trail. But today we are going to talk about the Walava Basin. Right. Now we are on the difficult path towards Devil's Staircase. But this is a heaven for the 4-wheel drivers. We have seen many people coming in their 4-wheel jeeps and other types of vehicles, and some people also braving this with motorbikes. Somewhat reminds me of Ladakh, where these Lee Enfield bicycles are doing all sorts of run in and around high altitudes of Ladakh region in North India. This is also very difficult terrain. You can see the road has been washed away. So you would need a serious 4-wheel drive vehicle to tackle this. Otherwise, the 2 legs, if they are in very good order, should be also enough to tackle this. Right, now we are closing in on the Devil's Staircase viewpoint, which is very close to the B508 Ohiya Road, and altitude is roughly 2000 plus meters. From here you can get a beautiful panoramic view of the Walava Basin, nearby mountains, and the Horton Plains, the border of Horton Plains, where the Uva and Central Province border runs along, separating Badulla and Nuwara districts. Okay, we are now getting very close. You can probably start to imagine what the look is going to be like. Oh my word, what a beautiful day. And the sun is behind us. We can see all the way towards the Walava Basin. Okay, let me walk you a bit more and then come back somewhere here and do a panoramic view. I can also make out Kuragala and Budugala areas. The newly built Kuragala Stupa can also be seen beautifully from here. I wonder if we are able to spot all the way towards Tissa Maharama and Kataragama, where two other stupas can be seen. Alright, now let's go all the way to this edge. From here we should be able to enjoy the panoramic view of the Devil's Staircase viewpoint. You can see ahead is the Horton Plains and the edge of the Horton Plains. Very close by is the Ginihiriya or Anderson Lodge, one of the Forest Department bungalows. Okay, let's take the panoramic view. You can see the zigzagging Devil's Staircase down below, which is pretty much like a staircase built by the devils. And the clouds formation in the distance, I can make out Kuragala and the Walava Basin, but I don't think it's possible for you to make out such small things in this footage because I'm using a GoPro with no zooming. We are coming towards the Horton Plains, and the path that continues Devil's Staircase is somewhere here. This is top to bottom footage from this Devil's Staircase viewpoint. Absolutely breathtaking, and you can just continue to enjoy this forever. This is yet another panorama from right to left, because last time I took it from left to right. You can clearly make out the Horton Plains up there, and we are coming towards Devil's Staircase. In the distance, beautiful cloud formation. Down below, the staircase built by the devils. Unbelievably beautiful. Yet another beautiful view of Devil's Staircase, which has 17 hairpin bends, distance of 3.3 kilometers and elevation difference of 317 meters. One grand location. Okay, we are going to continue. Come to yet another vantage point. You can make out the Devil's Staircase down below, and my two trekking partners going downhill now. Even though the path is going downhill, it's not easy compared to how we walked along that B508, the tarred road, and this is very uneven. You got to watch out for the ankle injury. The mist has pretty much covered the Walava Basin. Alright, I'm now looking back towards the where we came from. That tree line up there is the trailhead to Devil's Staircase of Horton Plains Road. You can see this tea estate close by, which has definitely seen better days. I assume Anderson, the planter, used to do planting in this area, and his bungalow, which is known as Anderson Lodge, is the one now owned by Wildlife Department, which is also called as Ginihiriya Wildlife Bungalow. Can you make out Anna in the distance going downhill and Atula towards left? Just picture perfect scene, and the mist is coming thick and fast from our right, trying to cover this. Here comes the invading mist with a gust of wind. Oh, what a beautiful sight. You can probably faintly make out Atula in the left of the frame. Amazing sight. Want to quickly show you this unique rock formation, which is one of the resting points for those who travel here, and they also use that rocky shade to do some cooking, especially during windy season. Alright, trying to walk you on this path so that you can get an idea of what the Devil's Staircase really like when walking. And there's Atul in the distance. I think he's taking some macro photography. And the water flowing along this Devil's Staircase and the slopes of Horton Plains make some beautiful waterfalls in the near vicinity, such as Udaweriya, Nagadova and Devil's Staircase waterfall, of course. And then they flow to Veliyoya, which is joined by Kosgahamankadaoya, and flow towards Kuragala, where she is joined by the mighty Walaway River that comes out of Samanalawewa Reservoir. Together as Walaway River, they flow to Udawalawa Reservoir. That's a brief story about the water, streams and the rivers originating in and around Devil's Staircase and Horton Plains area. My goodness, this path is very beautiful. Look at the grass. It's the path is invisible, so that's why you got to be very careful where you keep your foot, otherwise you will twist your ankle. But it's a very beautiful velvet looking path. Now let's walk through paradise. Mysterious and beautiful paradise, which is known as Devil's Staircase. Doesn't sound very nice when you call it paradise, doesn't it? Anyway, this is some unique weather peculiar towards Sri Lankan upcountry, where mist is always a big factor, along with wind and beautiful tea fields, lush greenery all around. So this is the beautiful upcountry of Sri Lanka, the pearl of the Indian Ocean, which is unfortunately being ravaged by corrupt politicians to the greatest disappointment. One would imagine, or I sometimes wonder, how come people of Sri Lanka are being gifted by such beauty, but at the same time they are being governed by such idiotic, corrupt criminals, which is quite sad story, unfortunately. Anyway, talking about those corrupt politicians is going to ruin my mood and not help me enjoy this beautiful scenery, so let's forget about them for the time being and continue our journey downhill. Here is the path on the left hand side that we came downhill. To the right is the one that we have to go through. I wonder if you can make out Anna in the distance, like looking like Hern the Hunter. Mist is going to be with us for the rest of the day, it seems, which I don't mind. Little bit more of the trek I'm going to show you. The mist is going to be the deciding factor today. And imagine how lucky we were, because about half an hour ago we were at the Devil's Staircase viewpoint, where we were treated with some magnificent panoramic views of the Walava Basin all the way towards Kuragala, where we were able to spot the newly built pagoda. But right now, within about half an hour, everything is fully covered by this thick white blanket. That's how quickly the weather changes here. And the wind is also coming very strongly at times, bringing some very cool air, making it very chilly. But you got to be ready for everything when you are hiking, especially in the upcountry with such volatile weather. Right, we got another hairpin bend, one of the 17 I told you about. We will take it slowly and slowly and slowly. Alright, slowly and slowly. Okay, it doesn't seem they are plucking any tea in this estate. But I can see there have been some maintenance work going on, and this road has of course seen better days. Even today you can see the ice drains built into it to help with the water flow, and the side walls which are still standing quite strongly. And this color variation, there are different variations of green and then some reddish flowers and plants, adding to the depth of the color picture. Really enjoy this. Now the mist has cleared somewhat and I should be able to show you the down below. Alright, I'm going to stop this here. Here we are. As fast as it came, she went away. The mysterious mist. You can now make out the path that we have to go down it, can't you? And guess what? Here comes the devils of the devil staircase, inspecting their handiwork, building this staircase. And with them come the mist, adding to the eeriness of the picture. Okay, you can see the mist in the distance. On the top right hand corner is where we started our trek. And Anna and Ata trekking downhill now. We just had a small snack here because we were feeling a bit hungry. Thankfully there was no sun because we are trekking on a very exposed area. If there was sun, it would have been very dehydrating. But today mist made sure there would be no sun and allowed us to trek with ease. Right, now we are very close to the Devil's Staircase base, which is at 1727 meters. And the distance we would be covering is gonna be 7+ kilometers from Ohiya Railway Station, and it's gonna be the end of our journey, stage number 1. The stage will go from base of the Devil's Staircase towards Udaweriya line houses, approximately another 5 to 6 kilometers. And the stage 3 will start from there and go all the way to our destination at Idalgashinna, where we are staying for the night. That will also be approximately another 5 to 6 kilometers. Gonna be a day full of hiking, but I can feel some rain droplets on me. Wonder if it's gonna start raining. It would be a real bummer if it was to happen. Okay, I'm going to take this turn slowly. One of the 17 hairpin bends in the Devil's Staircase. And if you were to turn right at the base of Devil's Staircase, that goes towards Pambarakanda and Kalupahana. And there is a mini Devil's Staircase approximately 1 kilometer from the proper Devil's Staircase base on that road, which is about 3 to 4 hairpin bends. That is what people often mistake as the proper Devil's Staircase. But this one we are climbing down is in fact the proper Devil's Staircase, which is very difficult to manage even on foot. Right, we will also be trekking today, passing the historic Udaweriya tea factory. Unfortunately it is no longer in operation. This is the tea factory which you can see when you are coming on Colombo Badulla Road, just before Kalupahana double bridge in the sky. That's one unique view. I don't think any other tea factory in Sri Lanka has such magnificent view. Unfortunately, that tea factory has been left abandoned. And I also feel Ministry of Tourism in Sri Lanka is not doing enough to promote treks like Devil's Staircase to the tourists, especially the foreigners who are coming to visit Sri Lanka, because this is one of the great way to enjoy the mother nature, especially for trekking lovers. They can come and do so many treks in Sri Lanka. Sadly, Sri Lanka Ministry of Tourism has failed to identify such designated trails and keeping these tourists informed properly. So if you are one of those authorities in the Ministry of Tourism, this is a helpful tip. Start doing that. It will help bring in more tourists and formulate the trekking industry in Sri Lanka. That will be a real boost. There's so much you can do to promote Sri Lanka tourism. It's not all about beaches. We have a very diverse range of things to enjoy for all sorts of trekkers. You could be a beach lover or culture lover where you want to go and see historical things, or you might be a trekking fan where you want to come and enjoy the upcountry of Sri Lanka, which has so many mountain trails to enjoy. So it's just a matter of listing these out with proper designation and landmarks so that people can come in and enjoy these things with ease. Right, I think we are now very close to the bottom of the Devil's Staircase. Just wanted to show you these vegetable patches, and on the left hand side you can also see an abandoned line house. In fact, Udaweriya has many such line houses which were abandoned due to rock falls. Devil's Staircase waterfall is down below. Okay, we are into the last few bends of the Devil's Staircase. And there are some goats here, very tiny ones, looking adorable. Alright, don't want to bump into this fellow. Well, you can see Anna and Nata taking yet another bend. We are now very close to the base of the Devil's Staircase. Down below is the base of Devil's Staircase. To the left is the road continues towards Ohiya. To the right is the one going towards Kalupahana. 1727 meters. We have trekked more than 7 kilometers by now. Right, you can see Anna and Ata reaching the base of Devil's Staircase. The road continues uphill towards Pamarakanda, and we have to go downhill to the left. Alright people, we have finished the stage 1 of our trail. We have 2 more stages to go. You are looking towards Devil's Staircase, which we conquered a short while ago. This is the road towards Bambarakanda and Kalupahana. Devil's Staircase waterfall is nearby, but we are not going to pay a visit to her. And then the mini Devil's Staircase also nearby, about 1 kilometer from here. Behind me in the up towards the sky, you can see the Horton Plains boundary. That's where the provincial border between Uva and Central runs along, separating Udaweriya from Badulla. And the Kalupahana Road goes on that side. Poor Man's World's End and Giniheviya Bungalow are also to that side. Now I'm coming towards the road that we have to trek, that is towards Ohiya. Right, this is the one we have to go downhill. And my 2 friends have already gone. I'm going to try and catch up with them. There's a bit of a slight drizzle falling on. I wonder if it's going to turn into a massive rain. Hope not. Hopefully we'll be able to do this without an incident. You can see we are now passing through a line house, and these Delica vans are the trusted transport mode in these Udaweriya areas where the roads are in horrible condition. It's impossible to go in another vehicle, but these Delica vans have been trudging along for many years, helping people to get to places. So it's wonderful piece of engineering. Those who built the Delica van did an excellent job. Right now we are just going through the Ohiya Kalupahana Road until Udaweriya line houses, where we have to take another right turn and enter into the Idalgashinna footpath. Right, we are on the Ohiya Road. You can see a plot of leeks cultivation, sort of like a steps. Reminds me of how the rice is grown in the Philippines and Vietnam. The steps like landscape. Oh, this could be the devil's leeks cultivation. Right, I'm going to try and show you the condition of the road. I was telling you about the Delica vans which are helping these people move around with ease, but you can see these roads are in very bad condition, and it's impossible to travel in low ground clearance vehicle, but tuk-tuks on the other hand manage to ferry people back and forth, but at great cost because the running repairs are going so high that it's impossible to ride on these roads without breaking one part or the other quite often. Even going on foot is a very difficult task. You can see it's very uneven. There are rocks and potholes every now and then. Therefore, the life of the people in and around the area is not a very pleasant one, unfortunately. Even though we enjoy the beauty of the mother nature, we must also be mindful of the plight these people have to go through living here day in day out. For us, coming here once in a while to enjoy this trekking is one thing, but for them it's nothing but misery. But you can see Ata and Anna ahead. Okay, the road is, I don't know if it's going to be any better, but let me go and see. The wind is getting stronger. We are looking towards the Horton Plains. Look at that sheer massive rocky wall. And the road towards Kalupahana also runs up there, I think just above the cloud line. To the left is the Walava Basin, and in between lies some of the tea estates. I wonder if you can make out the line houses up in the mountain. This is the line house that we came across passing, where the Delica van also there. This sort of reminds me of the mountains in the Nepal, especially like Dumpus or Pokhara. What a wonderful scenery. As I said, it's not easy living here, even though we enjoy coming for treks. We are now looking towards the Walava Basin. With Kuragal in the distance, we can also make out Colombo Badulla main road, and to the right Gommolliya mountain range, the lower part of it. You can see Wangedigal and Wangedi Kanda, and the mountain then gets blocked by this Horton Plains edge. And this is the view towards Udaweriya line houses, and the Miriath and the mountain can also be seen to the right. On the left hand side should be the Udaweriya peak, 2060 plus meters in height. We need to get up to that line houses. You can also see the Udaweriya tea factory and Ohiya tea factory. And look at this view, a trek with a view. The line houses built into the mountain in stages. Actually, this reminds me very much of the Everest Base Camp trek which I did in 2017. This is like the Namche Basa, because Namche Basa has so many beautiful colorful houses built onto the mountain surrounding like a horseshoe shape, and this is somewhat resembling it, but there aren't many houses as in Namche Basa. Once again, remember, living here is not an easy task. It's extremely difficult. You have to go through many hardships, but for us, the casual travelers, this is a view made in heaven. And all the line houses have massive stones kept on their roofs because the winds are very strong and they can take those roofs completely off. We can also make out a waterfall in the distance. Oh my goodness, just look at that. Let me try and show you that. You can see Atul is walking down, and I want to give you another panoramic view, and if possible to show you the waterfall there. Can you make it out? Very tiny, thin waterfall, but very tall at the same time. Now somewhere in the middle of the frame. My goodness, when it's raining, that must create a massive waterfall there. She is very tall, as I said before, resembles Gadandigini Falls of Ramboda. And look at this panoramic view once again. I can't get enough of this. We are now walking on this road full of these beautiful yellow flowers. They're actually on the either side making it a nice green trail. I can't see Ata and Anna. Seems like they have gone so far ahead of me while I was showing you the surrounding views. I'll just walk you through a little more on this bit. It looks very beautiful despite the road being in a very bad condition. Alright, you can see the distance view of the line houses. Now they are getting closer and closer. Right, I think it's time to keep you here and continue my journey. Before I do that, remember our next point of interest is going to be the Udaweriya tea factory, the one abandoned. Afterwards is the Ohiya tea factory, which is also abandoned, before reaching Udaweriya line houses. It will be 9.5 kilometers when we reach Udaweriya tea factory. From there, there's another 3 or more kilometers to the Udaweriya line houses. From there, another 5 to 6 kilometers. That's our third stage of the hike towards Idalgashinna. Right, we are coming to this beautifully built bridge. Oh, I wish the entire road was built like this. Very well made. Sadly, the other side of the bridge is not in very good condition. And there are some trees which resembles papaya, but they're certainly not papaya, but these leaves are very much like papaya or even cassava, and it is lining the road beautifully. And we are very close to the Udaweriya factory now. We've done about 50 to 55% of the total length of our hike by now. Look at this beautiful manager's bungalow, very well maintained. Unfortunately, GoPro can't zoom in and get a closer view. Down below we can see some vegetable plots. This is the famous Udaweriya tea factory, in ruins now. But the good news is the road is now in better condition, nicely concreted from here. Hopefully this will continue all the way towards Udaweriya line houses. But it's a great pity to see the Udaweriya tea factory like this. Here we are at the Udaweriya tea factory entrance. You can probably make out the signage behind me, but it's in ruins. Great tragedy, of course. So far we have come up to 9.5 kilometers. The elevation here is roughly 1680 meters. So we have at least another 8 kilometers to complete our journey today. Very tiring, but now the path is all concreted. We should be able to make some good grounds. Another beautiful sight. Down below, some line houses and vegetable patches. Up there, the mountain range. We were somewhere up there a few hours ago. Started our trek downhill at 2044 meters from the Ohiya Horton Plains Road, close to the entrance. Alright, we are continuing on this better section of the road. In the distance, on the left hand side, you can see Udaweriya Peak, 2060 meters. To the right is the Meeriyatanna, approximately 2030 meters. And we can also see the Ohiya factory, that is also in ruins, unfortunately. Behind me, there are some vegetable patches which are being fertilized. That's the noise coming from those machines. We saw some people carrying some fertilizer bags which contain Epawala rock phosphate. Still no sign of urea though. Apparently that rock phosphate cost around 10,000 rupees for 50 kilos, and the urea is going so much more, and also very hard to find. We need to get up to the gap up there and then go on the other side of the mountain range towards Idalgashinna. This is the view towards the road where we came uphill. You can see those vegetable patches that I told you about on the right hand side. Looks like tea fields are being replaced with plenty of vegetable patches. Hopefully they'll be able to find some fertilizer in order to help increase the production output. We are taking a shortcut through these leeks fields looking towards Ohiya factory. You can now make out the two mountains on either side very clearly. Udaweriya on the left, Mediathan on the right. This will help us shorten our journey by about 500 meters. Here is a closer view of some of these leeks fields. I wonder when they are going to harvest them. The sun is up again once more. Right, you can see Anna coming through this shortcut which runs through these vegetable plots. In the distance you can see the mountain towards Horton Plains. Okay, there's a doggy also trying to follow us. Unfortunately there's no food for him. Right, there's this cow taking a nice break in this lush green field. In the distance you can see the Ohiya factory in ruins, couple of houses, and our destination is to the right of the factory. If you can make out, there are two telephone poles or maybe electricity poles that we need to go up there. 1950 meters elevation, then climb to the other side, then parallel the Idalgashinna mountain range to the station. This is a close-up view of the Ohiya factory in ruins. So there seems to be a vehicle parked somewhere to the right. Another trusted delica it seems. This is the close-up view of the Ohiya factory. And there is an unhappy dog nearby. Here is a nice cabbage plantation. And look at the side walls. Very well built. This is another view of Ohiya factory. I feel so sad about the state of this factory, which could have been put to good use to make more revenue. The more I trek in this Udaweriya area, the more it reminds me of Nepal, especially the mountains of Pokhara. We can now make out the Gonmolliya mountain range in the distance at 2034 meters, Balatuduwa, Wangidi Kanda and Wangidi Gala. Just below us is the Ohiya factory and surrounding line houses. You can make out the shortcut down below. There are two people going down. Gonmolliya is clearly visible now. What a beautiful sight. I can't get enough of this view, people. We can also make out Samanlabav reservoir. Unfortunately, I don't think you can see, but the Gonmolliya is now clearly visible, the twin peaks, and the view towards Horton Plains, the cloud formations, Ohiya factory, surrounding line houses and vegetable fields. Right, we are now continuing our journey uphill. Ohiya tea factory was at 1780 meters. The travel distance is roughly 10.6 kilometers. We have to go another 2 kilometers to end our stage 2 and then start downhill journey once again towards Idalgashinna. Very tough going, and the sun is up in full force once again, but I'm thankful he was not available when we were coming down Devil staircase. Right, we can see some healthy tea patches here now that we are close to the Udaweriya line houses. Down below you can see all the way in the distance the ever so difficult path that we had to trek along. The Ohiya factory is looking sadly at us. You can see Atula is going ahead and the Mediathan mountain, a better view now, rising into the clear blue sky with a 1 or 2 fluffy clouds. We can hear some firecrackers in the distance which are being echoed in the surrounding mountains. No reason as to why they are doing that. Nevertheless, it's once again a waste of money, which is very hard to come by these days. We are close to the end of stage 2, but we need to be up there. The gap on the right hand side in the frame is where we have to be to complete the stage 2. That is roughly 1950 meters in elevation. You can see Anna and Nata is going, but we are not going to climb all the way up along this steep patch. Instead, we take a left turn, go about another 500 meters, then take another right turn to make it like a zigzaggy shape. Now just look at this view, people. It looks so far away, so far down, but believe it or not, we were there. We were so far down and managed to walk all the way up to this point, and we have another about 50 meters incline to reach the Udaweriya line houses before climbing down towards Idalgashinna. Right, you can make out the concrete road winding its way, which is the one we are using. Right ahead of us is Miriyatana mountain, 2039 meters if I'm not mistaken. And then going to give you this panoramic view, and the road continues. Look at the beautiful sky. We are now very close to the Idalgashinna trail meetup, where we have to take a right turn from this Ohiya road. This road continues towards Ohiya. Remember, I showed you the turn off from Ohiya Horton Plains Road in the morning. And then we take a right turn, go towards the gap between Miriyatana mountain and Udaweriya mountain, where we have to technically go to the other side of the mountain range and walk along the Idalgashinna mountain range. It's like going from one mountain range to another. We can also make out the 16-kilometer post here. I think this is from Kalupahana end. So this is 16 kilometers to this point. Altogether, there are 22 kilometers between Ohiya and Kalupahana. So from here, it's 6 kilometers to Ohiya Railway Station. I'm taking this footage from the Ohiya end. You can see how the road branches to the left that goes towards Udaweriya line houses. And Nata is going there. This place is roughly 1884 meters in elevation. We have trekked almost 12 kilometers in length since morning, and our target to end the stage 2 is very near. There is the mysterious Udaweriya. There are some terraces, like the rice terraces where they grow vegetables. Right, we are very close to the end of stage number 2, and we just passed the line houses, and we can see the destination where we were planning to take another left turn and complete the stage 2 right ahead, another couple hundred meters away. It is 1950 meters in elevation. That point, we should be able to get there in about another 5-10 minutes. Here we are close to the destination, looking towards Horton Plains and Godmolliya mountain range. You can make out the road below, the concrete one. We were climbing up towards the trail bend, where we had to come on this somewhat not so good path through that line houses. This is the path towards Idalgashinna. This is the one we are going to take, but you can see it's full of mist now. Here is the water catchment point, where they divert this towards the vegetable plots downhill. Alright, we are continuing our journey. By now we have trekked approximately 13 kilometers in length, so we have another 4 to 5 kilometers to go before we reach our destination. Thankfully, we were managed to shed about 1 kilometer using that shortcut coming towards Ohiya tea factory. And the mist is coming thick and fast here. And also this path especially has a massive danger of rocks falling onto the road. Hence we have to make a dash for it. We never know what's going to happen next. Alright, there's a beautiful looking hut covered with mist. I think they are using this for the vegetable farming in the terraces down below. I told you there's a danger of rocks falling onto this road. That's why we have to be really careful. But this section seems to be alright and safe. You can see the mist down below. This window is also opening towards Walava Basin, but in the distance, straight ahead is the Idalgashinna mountain range. The summit point is 1968 meters, if I remember correctly. And we will be also passing the trail head to the summit point on this path. You can see one of the dangerous areas where the rocks have fallen down. Anna and Ata tackling it slowly and carefully. We had a quick bite here. We are going to continue towards mysterious but insanely beautiful Idalgashinna. Look at this view, people. This is towards the Udaweriya summit point. It looks out of this world. Almost like the Sherwood. I'm waiting for the Hern the Hunter to appear. Right, this grass is grown so high. The path is almost invisible. But it helps with our steps because we feel as if we are walking on a bit of a cushion thing. A nice heading ahead. We are actually enjoying this hike a lot more because we are not being battered by the sun. Instead we have this nice balmy weather, no winds whatsoever. Mist is enveloping the entire area, making it so beautiful. One could say it's eerie, but yet very beautiful. And we are coming towards another set of abandoned lighthouses, once again because of the rock falls. They must be very close by, but we can't see them at this distance because of the mist. The mist and these turpentine trains seem to make a match made in heaven. They look so beautiful together. This road had seen definitely better days in the past. Probably during the colonial era, we could see some tarred patches here and there to show this was definitely in better use at the time. You can probably hear some workers in the vegetable patches. That's where we have to enter into the forest and find the narrow footpath to reach Idalgashinna. Insanely beautiful view of the Idalgashinna mountain range, and it's sloping towards Haldumulla, and the Walava Basin can be seen exceptionally well from here. You can also make out the Kuragala Stupa in the distance. The mist is no more. She went as fast as came. And look at the Meeriyathanna mountain to the right. This is the abandoned lighthouses that I was telling you a while ago. When they were occupied, they would have had a magnificent view towards Walava Basin, Udawalawa Reservoir, Kuragala, Kaltora areas. Such a wonderful place, but it's no longer occupied. Right, now you can see the full size of Meeriyathanna mountain. And we were a while ago at the top right hand corner. You can probably make out the road as well. Down below is the terraced vegetable patches. Look at this view, people. Just out of this world. This is the Idalgashinna mountain range, the highest point. You can see it also has twin peaks. The one on the left is the one we can climb up easily along that green patch parallel to the ridge of the mountain. On the right hand side is the highest point, 1968 meters. The peak on the left hand side is approximately 1956 meters. This is probably the best view of Idalgashinna summit point I've seen to date. Here we are finally at the Idalgashinna tea estate. Unfortunately, we couldn't film from the point where we saw the Idalgashinna mountain range beautifully because of the heavy rains. So we had to wear our ponchos, rain gear, keep all the cameras inside and walk through that dense forest trail. It was not easy to walk despite GoPro being waterproof. I didn't want to take it out because the path was so difficult. So we ended up here. What we are going to do is try and get down to the railway line and track along this instead of this forest trail, which is going to be easier. And I'm going to wow you. Look at this view. That is towards Beragala mountain, known as Abeywickrema. Down below are the Idalgashinna tea estates. We can see in the distance towards Haputale and then Namunukula and many other mountain ranges. And then coming further to the left, oh my goodness, this is a beautiful panoramic view. You can also see towards Diyatalava and Fox Hill. Narangala is somewhere there, which is probably behind this tree. This is the view towards railway track and the tea estates. You can probably make out my two trekking partners are going downhill ever so slowly. Narangala can also be seen to the left of the frame. Going to give you another panoramic view. You can also see the Idalgashinna tea factory nestled among those trees. We are now coming from Beragala, also known as Abeywickrema, towards Haputale and then towards Namunukula. Down below probably the town of Diyatalava, and then on the left hand side Narangala. This is the tea estate where I just climbed down. You can see my two trekking partners are coming slowly through that narrow drain. Not easy going, people, very slippery. Got to watch your step all the way. Up there is the summit of Idalgashinna. I can also see a small flag waving. That's where people go and enjoy the panoramic views and do some campings too. Look at this view. My goodness. And just unbelievable. We came down on this tea estate so fast. It took us less than 10 minutes to come all the way down. Here we are finally at the railway line. From here, a brisk walk along the railway line should take us to our rest in Idalgashinna. I just crossed the railway line, came to this beautiful, one of the most amazing tea fields I've ever seen, probably after Dambetanna. Such a pretty sight. This is Agrapatana Plantations Limited, Idalgashinna Upper Division. That's what the signage says. Well done, people. You have done an amazing job of keeping this so beautiful. Finally, we are on the railway line. You can see behind me it runs all the way towards Idalgashinna. So we should be able to get to our home for a hot shower, another hot meal, and take a nice little break. We'll see you on the way. Alright, I'm going to walk you on this railway line, which is not easy. Always it's very difficult to hop from one sleeper to another. Let's hope the footage will stay nice and stable. By the way, just to brief a summary of what we did today. We started our journey at Ohiya Railway Station, trekked along the Ohiya Horton Plains Road, took a left turn towards Devil's Staircase at an elevation of 2044 meters, climbed down 3.3 kilometers and via 17 hairpin bends the Devil's Staircase, then took another left turn, walk up towards Udaweriya lighthouses, passing Udaweriya and Ohiya tea factories, then took another right turn through the Udaweriya lighthouses, reach the gap between twin peaks of Meediyatanna and Udaweriya mountains. From there we came down all the way towards that abandoned lighthouses where they are growing vegetables now. Afterwards we got caught to the rain, had to walk through a very difficult forest trail, trying to avoid many obstacles, and then passing the pine forest, reached the edge of the tea field, decided not to continue the forest trail, instead came down very fast to the railway line, and the views were simply out of this world. We enjoyed it so much, and now we are on the railway line going towards one of the most beautiful railway stations in the world, that is Idalgashinna, and our rest is also just nearby. So I'll wrap my journey closer to the railway station. Until then, people, stay tuned. Look at this railway line, people. There are so many plants growing through the sleepers. It's like a forestry railway track. This reminds me of the rail hike I did from Madavachchiya to Viratpeviyakkulam some time ago, and the railway line was so bad. I know there are plans afoot to renovate that stretch between Anuradhapura and Vaunia, and also the Mahava stretch. I think upcountry railway line also needs some urgent repairs to keep the trains going at a decent speed. Otherwise they continue to run very late, costing so many hours for the people. I wonder what happened to the Badulla bound trains. There should be 3: Podimanike, Udratamanike, and the German one. Not sure what the timing is. Ideally Podimanike should have gone past Idalgashinna by now, because now the time is getting closer to 4:30. But you know, it's upcountry railway line, trains are almost always late. So I'm not sure if Podimanike has already left or still behind us, coming slowly towards Idalgashinna. And look at this mist, and imagine red and blue dragon coming through this mist would be a wonderful sight. Oh, I really wish Podimanike is slightly late and would come through this mist so that I can get a beautiful footage. Right, I think we are getting very close to the station now. I told you previously that I'll go closer to the station and do the wrap-up journey, but I couldn't help taking these footages because I wanted to share this amazing weather, especially the mist, which I really love, with you. Right, then unless I see Podimanike or some other train coming through, you're gonna catch me at the station with the wrap-up journey. Okay people, here we are at our destination near the Idalgashinna railway station. I don't have to tell you how wonderful that journey was. You probably know that by now. Once again I have to give you the same message. Please help protect our mother nature, keep her safe, don't litter and don't do things to harm her, and also use the resources like electricity, water and fuel very carefully, because we are going through a very difficult time in our life. With that message, this is Sri signing off with my 2 trekking partners from this mysteriously beautiful Idalgashinna. See you once again with yet another beautiful journey like this. Until then, stay safe, take care.